Hi everybody, welcome to FAS141, Introduction to Digital Photography. My name's Tom Wolf and I'll be your instructor for this semester. So before we get going too far, I'd like to spend some time introducing myself and also talking about the functionality of this class and some of the expectations that I'm going to have from you as we move forward into this semester. So I realize that for many of you, this might be the first time that you've taken an online class. And honestly, the dynamics of an online class are going to be a little bit different than our traditional classroom. Certainly, we don't have that face-to-face interaction. So one of the ways that I hope to kind of convey a sense of my personality and my teaching style is through these videos. So I hope you always take the time to watch them in each module. And of course, if you have any questions, always feel free to contact me either by email or by the phone number that you can find in our syllabus. So I've been teaching this class for about 7-8 years now, and actually have been teaching at Canisius College since 1997. You probably have seen a lot of my photography on the college's website, on their athletics site, and even out in the community. I do a lot of professional photography. In fact, behind me you can even see some of my favorite photographs from over the years. In this classroom, we've set this up so that each week is a module. And each one of these modules is going to build on the previous week's module. So it's important that you engage with the materials each week and frequently. This class isn't set up so that, on Monday afternoon you can check in, read some stuff, do some videos, post your work, and be done with it. This class is set up so that maybe 3, 4, 5 times a week you check in, you do the reading, you do the assignments, you do the videos, and continue to engage with the materials throughout the week. Students who are successful in this class take that approach. Students who tend to procrastinate, I'm sorry to say, generally speaking, don't do well here. So please get out ahead of things and make sure that you aren't procrastinating. If I can give one piece of advice, that certainly would be it in this class. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things you're going to experience here. First of all, you're going to have a weekly assignment. For the first couple weeks, your assignments actually are going to be research assignments and writing assignments, not photography assignments. I know often people are very anxious to pick up their cameras. They want to sign out cameras in this class, and that's fantastic. But we also kind of have to set a foundation for you about what photography is and what, quite frankly, successful photographs are. So I'm going to ask you to do a lot of research to begin with, and tough to say, I'm going to have you do a lot of writing. So, you got to like writing about photography, researching photography, looking at images, and talking about it. Once we get past these first couple weeks, we are then going to get into your camera and learning how to use all the functions on the camera. So those are kind of the nuts and bolts modules when we get into module 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once we've set that really good foundation and we feel comfortable operating a camera, then we start to get into some assignments where I'm going to ask you to go out into the field and take pictures. And probably the first major group of assignments for that will be a service learning project. This is going to be a project where you're going to have to go out into the community, volunteer at one of our service learning sites that the college has partnered up with, and you're going to have to put in some time learning about the people that that learning site helps and interacting and engaging with them. Once you've done that, we are going to expect you to take some images of either the people that are working there, the other volunteers, or even the site itself, and create a story, visual story that is, about your experience working there. Now again, I have to go back to what I said a little bit earlier. This is one of those things that you cannot procrastinate upon. We spend about 3 modules working on this service learning project, and you're going to be expected to go out and arrange the times that you're going to be working at this site, facilitate communications with the supervisors of these sites, and then go out and actually do the photography on your own. So you have to be self-motivated here and self-directed also. So again, I want to just re-emphasize getting out there and getting ahead of the game, so to speak. So one of the other things that we do a lot of in this class is we do a lot of video feedback, or what we like to call in the art world critiques. So when you post your images, I'm going to go in and create a video that I'll talk about some of the successes you have in your videos and also some of the things that you can improve upon or learn from. And I really want to emphasize that in photography and especially in art, we want to embrace our mistakes. I don't want you to be fearful of making mistakes in this class. I want you, to take chances, to take risks, and sometimes those chances and risks don't work out. But when they don't work out, I want you to learn from them. And these feedbacks or these critiques are going to be opportunities for you to recognize how other people see your work and what their perception is of the images that you create. So please don't look at these critiques as something where I might be putting you down or saying something bad about your work. It really shouldn't be viewed as that. Please embrace these, and certainly always, if you have any questions, comments, or even if you disagree with something that I talk about in there, please feel free to contact me either by email or post in the module where there always will be opportunities for discussions. Which also gives me a good bridge to talking about the discussions that we're going to have in each module. Each module, I'm going to throw up a discussion question for you. And this discussion question is actually going to be like the discussions that we typically would have in a classroom, where I would encourage the class to participate in talking about something that I bring up in class. Unfortunately, we don't, have this face-to-face interaction, so a lot of it is going to be written. When you post in these discussion forums that we set up, I'm looking for you to bring a point of view, bring in an opinion. I want you to take a side and really, almost defend that position about it. And of course, to defend it, you're going to need to do a little research. And this is part of becoming a good photographer. You need to look at other people's work, see what's out there in the marketplace, and then use that in creating your own personal aesthetic. So those discussions are places that I want you to bring in those personal points of view. Please, 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 again, as you're getting into these discussions, don't wait to the end of the week, because I'm not going to have a chance to respond to some of the things that you post, and you're not going to have a chance to get my feedback on your work, because quite frankly, I'm going to be moving on to the next semester or the next modules and working on giving those students feedback. So again, I hate to say it, but you really got to get out ahead of the ball game here in this work. So a couple other things I want to talk about in this class. Each module, you're going to have a very brief 10-question quiz at the end of the module. In the past, I found students tend to get really stressed out about these quizzes. Please don't get stressed out about them. They are 10-question quizzes, and all of the quizzes combined together are only going to be 10% of your final grade. So when you miss a question or two, or you don't do well on one quiz, don't feel like it's going to torpedo your grade for the whole semester. What I put a lot of weight on is your assignments, your final projects, your service learning projects, and even your discussions. So if you're a person who doesn't usually do well at tests and quizzes, try not to fear these. These are really there to check in and make sure that you're getting what we're talking about here in the class. And quite frankly, sometimes I'll see a lot of students will miss 2 or 3 questions in a quiz, and I'll know that I need to go back and reinforce some of the information in those quizzes and just help you get through it. So please don't get too upset about these quizzes and get too worried about them. So then last but not least, what I want to talk about is the equipment in this class. For this class, I'd like everyone to have a DSLR camera. Now, a DSLR camera is a camera that typically has manual exposure options, and it also has what's known as the camera raw file format. And the camera raw file format is very important because when we process our images in Photoshop, it's going to give us the most options for interpretation or manipulation once we get into Photoshop. So if you have any questions on your cameras and you want to know if your camera is going to be appropriate for this class, please shoot me an email or again give me a phone call and I can take a look at what camera you're using and see if it's appropriate for the class. If you don't have a class or if you don't have a camera for this class, we have about 10 rental, or I shouldn't say rental because that implies you have to pay for them. These are loaner cameras. You don't have to pay for them, but they're loaner cameras that are distributed through the Media Center on the 4th floor in Lyons Hall. You can sign these cameras out for 3 days at a time and get your assignments done with them. I do ask that you don't keep those cameras for more than 3 days at a time so that we can have those cameras rotating throughout the class and everybody can have an opportunity to use them throughout the course of the week. So with that, I'm going to finish up this brief video and let you get started on the coursework. Again, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, always feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to help work through whatever problem or question you might have. So good luck on the class and have a good semester, and I look forward to seeing your work as we progress through this class. So enjoy.